What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here for the Belle Collective review. I have no idea what season this is. Maybe five, 4 or 5. I don't know how long it's been, 4 or 5. And it's episode 1. It comes on Fridays on OWN. So we'll watch it and then come back for a review. And you'll get the review Monday or Tuesday. Today is Monday that I'm recording this. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment and let me know that you stopped by. Now I have to turn my phone on again because my phone just died and all my notes are in there. So all the girls are back, except for Aisha. Is that her name? Not Aisha. The one that quit when she was on air with Carlos. We're not going to be returning, and Carlos was like, and Dustin was like, what was her name? Aisha. See how soon how quickly we forget. I think her name was Aisha. So she's not back. I'm sure they're happy about that because they started to turn on them. They really did last season. They really turned on. I really can't remember that couple's name. That's crazy. I think her name was Aisha. Let me see if I can find my some old Belle Collective. Um, okay, this is from January. So it is like Ikesha and Willie. I found some old notes from January 6th, 2025. All right, so the notes are from today. So let's get to today's episode. The episode was cute. It was a good episode, the beginning episode. Not nobody arguing or anything like that. No drama or anything like that, but a little drama, but it was kind of like fun drama at Marie's party. So Marie and Latrice have decided to work on their relationship. They have decided to put all of their differences aside and for the sake of the collective, try to get along with each other. And I think Latrice likes Marie. I think they like each other, but they just have two different personalities. So Marie pulls up, Dr. Marie Monroe. She pulls up to Goddess Links. Now, I guess Goddess Links has a drive through where you can order hair, I guess, through a drive through, which is innovative because I've never heard of going to get some hair and picking it up in the drive through. That is a trip. So Marie pulls up to the drive through of Goddess Links, and there's this girl standing there. And I guess she says, can I take your order? Or so I don't know what she said to her, but Marie was like, is your boss there? Is your boss here? And she was like, yeah. She was like, let me holler at her real quick. So Latrice comes to the window. She was like, oh my God, Marie Monroe. She gets all excited. She like pumps Marie up. She really does. And then they were like, oh my God, girl. She was like, come around, come inside, come inside. So Marie comes inside, bitch. As soon as Marie walked through the door, here go Latrice. Come on, BBL Marie. Ah, Latrice will give you a nickname in a heartbeat, which I love so much. She said, come on, BBL Marie. So they were talking about how Marie was up at Taste, which is Latrice's and Cliff's lounge restaurant. And Marie was up at Taste with some dude named Martin. But then Latrice was talking about she was up there with Cedric. She was like, girl, you was up there with Cedric. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Like, what's going on with them? So come to find out, Cedric and Marie, remember Cedric? He was her husband, and he would be dipping and diving and laying it low and spreading it wide and going off on cruises and stuff like that. I have a feeling Cedric was on them gay cruises. I really do. I really feel like he be messing with dudes. I really feel like that. His booty is so high. Did you see when he walked in the door? Motherfucker, how you got a key to Marie's house already? I said, these girls he just walked in her house, hugged her and gave her a kiss and all that other stuff. And I was like, he already got a key? y'all rekindling, and that's he got a key that fast. Anyways, so she was like, she has an ex-husband, her ex-husband Cedric, and then she has this new guy friend named Martin. So she was like, she's never been in the situation before. She's never dated two men at once. So then they talked about Latrice, juggling, coming up to Goddess Links and then working at Taste and it being a new spot. And she's kind of a micromanager. She's like Essie. She likes to micromanage and make sure everything is right. So they're really playful with each other, which was cute. Marie says she's at peace. And then Latrice says when Marie is at peace, that's good because the collective can be at peace. So Dr. Marie Monroe, she said she has some Monroe hair. Something she said, I had some Monroe hair. She was like, it's you got to put doctor in front of it. She was like, girl, Latrice looked different. She had on a real red lip, which I don't think I've ever seen her in a lip that red. It made her face look different. She looked different. She looks a little different. So, anyways, they're good with that. Then we go to Leticia, who's in a good place with Glendale. Really, Leticia, girl, really? Girl, really? Was his ass in the intro? I don't even think I saw an intro. I watched it on YouTube. I watched it down to the iPod, and I don't even think it had an intro. I think it just started. Um, but yeah, her and Glendale are in a good place. They have been communicating. He has been being attentive, being supportive. What she say? They're able to have tough conversations. They're working to make each other better. There has been no infidelities. How do you fucking know, bitch? You was ready to take on this man if he had a baby. Talking about, I'll take the baby. Stupid ass. Girl, don't get me started on these girls. I'm only 7 minutes in. So she said he's been showing up. She's getting the house all ready. She got roses everywhere. She got a massage table out ready for him to come home from his job. He's back into, she says, in the oil and gas industry. So I guess the little truck situation didn't work out. She was like, we are really, 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 you are, how many reallys are you going to say to try to convince yourself, girl? I don't know. How do you got, I guess when you forgive somebody, you got to forget. You don't have to, like me, I forgive like the mafia. So I really don't ever forget. And if I ever catch you slipping, but I feel like, okay, how many times do you forgive a person? How many times, and for some reason, which I don't know, the way she was sitting there and she was talking to him, they were talking afterwards. He came in, she gave him a little massage and she was talking to him about feeling more feminine, right? And that prompted me to go on Twitter because I cannot stand to hear a woman says she wants to rest in her femininity when the feminine attributes and qualities are a creative, chaos, intuitive. It's like there's nothing restful about feminine energy. And when women say they want to rest in their feminine, they are really saying they are really saying they want to rest in their feminine with the ideas of femininity are coming through a patriarchal lens, right? Where your idea of femininity is restful, passive, it's just whatever it is. It's just feminine. I'm feminine. I'm just laying up. I'm letting the man take control and be masculine. And the men are, if you look at the state of the world, do men bring order to situations? No, they don't. They cause a lot of chaos and confusion, ironically. And when she kept saying she wants to rest in her femininity and she feels like he's showing up as this masculine man and she's able to be more soft and feel flirty with him. Let me read you what I wrote about femininity on and masculinity on Twitter. And I really want people to understand this. Feminine energy is not exclusive to people with vaginas. Feminine energy is creative, cyclical, chaotic, intuitive, emotional, and unpredictable. It's the storm, the ocean, the womb. It births, destroys, and transforms. It doesn't rest in a passive sense. It moves, shifts, feels, and creates. That's feminine energy. Masculine energy, again, not male specific, is the container, the structure, the order, the stillness that holds or channels the chaos. It's what gives direction and form to the raw power of the feminine. Masculine is not exclusive to men, and femininity is not exclusive to women. When you operate from a space of thinking masculine is exclusive to people with penises and femininity is this passful, restful state, when it's not, you're actually using the definitions that were provided by the patriarchy. So you are, in sense, when you say you want to rest in your femininity, what you're really wanting to say is you want safety. That's what you're really saying. You're not saying you want to rest in your feminine. I'm this passive woman and I'm letting a man do everything. No, what you're really saying is you want to feel safe so that you can rest and you don't have to be on guard because you're not resting. Hold on. Safety allows you to be in your natural feminine energy, which is wild, emotional, and creative. And you should be able to flow freely through those behaviors and that demonstration without suppression or punishment. That is operating in your feminine. There's nothing passive or docile or pink or pretty about femininity. You guys think femininity is the way you hold your napkin and having nails and lashes and the way you walk and the way you dress. That has nothing to do with femininity at all. Nothing at all. The way you dress, I want to dress a little feminine today, and you think it's frilly lace and little ruffles and shit like that. That's a patriarchal lens, thinking that the feminine is a passive energy, and it's definitely not. It's definitely not. So when she's saying that she wants to feel like she's in her feminine energy, and he's in his masculine energy, she just is using she just doesn't know. She just doesn't know. She's a person who thinks that femininity is for women and masculinity is for men. um and women mostly operate in their masculine. Even they're not masculine people, but they operate in masculine energy when they are bringing order to a situation, trying to stop a fight, trying to stop people from fighting, right? Paying bills, meaning taking care of your responsibilities, keeping order where there is no order, right? Maintaining a structure, maintaining discipline, providing discipline and rewards. That's like masculine energy. Feminine energy has nothing to do with being nurturing. I'm just naturally a nurturer. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where that comes from. But anyway, she talks about how she's excited to work with this woman named Carrie Paul and her husband Matt, who is a sports agent. And she says she wants to show off her feminine self to Carrie. She wants to show her feminine self to Carrie. Marie and Cedric are sitting on the couch. Well, he walks in the house. I told you he just walked in the house, and they're sitting on the couch talking. And she talks about what their family dynamic is and how they have one child, Zuri, one child together. I think that's his child too. Um, she said that they rekindled when his brother died. His brother died, and they kind of got back in a space where they're trying to see if they really want to go at this again. In other words, um, he sits on the couch and he says, I take responsibility and accountability for my actions. And she was, talking about how he didn't want to come home and he would be out all night. He was doing his thing. He was really doing his thing. And he talked about how they both have grown. And so she invites him to her birthday party, and he kind of he doesn't give like a solid definitive answer. So she assumes that he's not coming. So she invites the guy she's been seeing, Martin, right? And then she was like, you always talking about how men can have multiple women. Why can't women have multiple men? He was like, no. She was like, I want my cake and ice cream too. That's what she said. Girl, men are a trip. You can do all that. You can lay it low and spread it wide. He would not be able to be sitting on my couch. He would not be able to come in and be relaxed enough to sit on my couch and think it's all sugar and popsicles. No, you get the fuck out my shit, Cedric, and you can never come around me because I don't know what you was doing. Honestly, I'm sorry. I would not be able to be next because what were you doing? Now all of a sudden you want to be back with Marie. No, what it's he's going to continue to do whatever he's going to do because if there's no consequence, right? You're allowing him back into your life. So literally there was no consequence for how he treated you. None. He should not be able to be that close to you. I mean, I know y'all are co-parenting or whatever, but I'm not trying to date you again. We're not rekindling a motherfucking thing. And you definitely ain't invited to my birthday party. But these women, I don't know, they really truly act like, I guess you could deal with the devil that you know, which I feel like Leticia is on that same thing. There was something about the way that she was flirting, and I almost forgot to say this. There was something about the way that she was acting with Glen where something popped in my head where I was like, she doesn't feel like she can get anybody else. And I don't think that that's true. I think that Leticia is a nice looking woman. She can find a man. But the way that these women act as if there's not a lot of men to go around or they can't meet another man. But like I said, I think they're in a space where like I would rather deal with the devil that I know than the rest of these demons out here who I really don't know. And I feel, like I said, it popped into my head that Leticia doesn't think that she can get another man. And that's why she puts up with Glendale's shit. That's what I believe. So, anyways, we get to. I called her Sienna, and I had to go back and look. I had to look at her name on the bottom. I was like, "What is her name? Is her name Sienna?" And I was like, "Her name is not Sienna. Her name is Selena." So Selena is back, right? That is um JJ and so Gucci. They're not back either. They're not back either. She was JJ's ex-wife. She is JJ's ex-wife. And so Gucci is not on there. Yes, Aikisha and so Gucci did not return to the show. So Selena said since the reunion, she's had so much happening in her life. She got into a car accident and have some injuries that have not gone away from the accident. She had a seizure and everything, didn't know where she was, all of that. Then her dog died, and then her son who died, his dog died, and then a grandmother died. So there's a lot of things going on in her life, but she's still on track to get married to this man who she says has poor communication skills. He went just like Glen and bought a truck, one of these trucks, and think he was going to be a delivery man, and then he is also going out of town and didn't tell her until the last minute. Um, so she is explaining to him how communication is very important. If we're going to be married, we need to be on the same page. Whew, sorry. We need to be on the same page, right? And she says she wants to work everything out. But he bought a truck, didn't tell her. They talk about how much money they're trying to save for a wedding. And she was like, you can't really make purchases like that. So I imagine those trucks are very expensive. I don't know if it was an 18 wheeler. I don't know how big the truck was. I imagine. I don't know. I think she mentioned 18 wheels. I don't know. But she says it feels like she's talking to a brick wall. I'm going to tell you, if you are dating a man and on the way to marriage and he has poor communication skills, when you get married, his communication skills will get worse. The brick wall will get thicker. Whatever you don't like about him now, once you legally attach yourself to him, it's going to irritate you 100 times worse. I feel like when you have those kind of trepidations and issues before you get married, I feel like you should not get married until those communication skills are what you want them to be. Why would you enter into a relationship, a legal binding document with someone who is not living up to your standards? Would you go into business with him and he wasn't communicating? Would you do business with someone who was a poor communicator? No, you wouldn't. So why would you marry him? That's how I feel about it. And then she says, talk to me. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm your fiance. Girl, do you really think that matters? You were JJ's wife and you cheated on him with Glen. So what is being a wife versus a fiance versus a girlfriend? What is the fucking difference if the nigga is the same for every step of the way? What is the difference? You tell me. What's the difference? It's different. She's we're married. What does that mean? Tell me what that means. Because I guarantee you, whatever it means to you, it doesn't mean the same to him. I can guarantee it. Girl, don't get me started. So they're back, they're up at Taste, and Latrice and Cliff with his mumbling ass, they are doing a taste test. They have changed chefs. They have a new chef, and so they're doing a taste test with their stuff. And Cliff decided to build condos on top of Taste so they can rent some spaces out and people can, they can go after they're done with Taste, they can go right back upstairs and go home. I think that's actually a really cool idea that he thought of that. I think it's cool. I don't know how many condos are on top. I don't know if it's just one, two, three, four. I don't know how many. They didn't say. But since they had the condos, not Glen, that's the other fool. Cliff has been staying at the condos. Girl, you're gonna look like Kirk Frost down to the Taste Bistro, okay? Yo, you gonna be like Kirk Frost. He gonna move a bitch up in that place. A girl. He was like, oh, what? You don't be sweat me any other time. Why you sweat me now? She was like, we got all kind of females working in this place. That's what she said. We got all kind of women working here, all kind of women coming up and through. And he was like, oh, so it's a trust thing. She said, yeah. And then she said, it's not that I don't trust the women. I know how men are. If you know how men are, why do you marry them? I really don't I truly, sincerely do not understand that rationale. If you know how men are, and to the point where how they are is your husband is not coming home at night and staying at the condos that he built, and you're saying there's a bunch of women around, and I know how men are. Why would you marry somebody like that? An old one too, that you gotta pull and bop and twist on his motherfucking dick. And now he got condos and he don't want to come home. You see the next episode, she packs her little suitcase and comes to the condo. Oh, we gonna stay here together. I know that's right. I said I'm not mad at her, but you obviously don't trust him. So the temptation is there, right? The women are the ones that are tempting them. Girl, so Amanda comes in. Amanda is Latrice's friend, and she comes in and she sits in between Cliff and Latrice, and they're snacking on something. And she just got a divorce from her ex-wife for cheating, infidelities, and all this other stuff going on. So she just got a divorce. She says she's back in the market. And Cliff asked her, well, who you gonna be with, a man or a woman? She said, whoever act right. That's what it is, like who's ever acting right. That's what it is these days. So, I don't think, she doesn't trust him. She doesn't trust him. And he's not coming home. I think if a man does not come home and he's staying at another place, I think that requires a conversation. Either we gonna stay at this other place together, because there's no reason for you to stay here after hours when everything is closed. There's no you can drive home. There's no reason for you to stay in these condos at all. I would be monitoring that very closely, but I feel like not having to worry about stuff like that. I don't want to be in. Why would you want to be in something where you have to worry about that? Like, girl, Whatever floats your boat, girl. So Marie's birthday party, she's gonna be 45 years old. Marie Monroe. It's gonna be 45. 45 and thriving. That's what she said. She 45 and thriving. I said, okay. So Cedric shows up, baby. He shows up before everybody. Now, mind you, remember I just told you Marie said she assumed because he wasn't definitive in his answer on whether he was coming or not. She assumed he wasn't coming, so she invited the guy she's been dating. Now, they both know about each other, right? They both know about each other. She told him, I've been dating this guy. I think she said, did she say 8 months, 6 or 8 months? Something she said. But they've been dating for a while. They even have pictures of them going out together, and this guy's her boyfriend. So Selena comes to the party. She's talking to her fiance again about him not communicating. He's going to Texas tomorrow, and he just told her in the car before they came up to the spot. Um, she wants to talk to, oh no, then Tambra shows up. She arrives and she says she's juggling babyhood, motherhood, and working, and she's still on her grind. The baby is with her mother. Where's the man? Why isn't the baby with his father? Anyway, Leticia knows where I am in this relationship with this guy and that I'm about to get married. So I want to talk to her because she's had issues. This is what Selena is saying about Leticia, that she's had issues with Glen. So I'm going to talk to her. I would never, ever seek advice from a woman who said, when thought that her husband had another baby and said she would take care of that baby. I wouldn't take advice from her. I wouldn't ask her shit about a relationship. No, no, no. You've taken your man back too many times for me to get any advice from you. But be that as it may, she's over there asking her, about, how do you navigate them not communicating well? He went out and bought a truck just like your man did. She was like, girl, I'm getting triggered. Don't remind me of that. But then I don't know what she said to her. Carrie Paul shows up with her husband, who's a sports agent. She starts critiquing the event space, calling it shabby chic. So I assume that her and Marie are going to have issues. Marie has issues with everybody who shows up. So it is what it is. She wants to know where Katie Paul wants to know where everybody is. Carrie. Katie, did I call her Katie? Carrie. I'll get it right. She's new. Carrie shows up with her husband, and then they are explaining to Carrie the situation between Cedric and Martin. Baby, Martin walks in. It's a white dude, a white German dude. Do you hear me? He walked in. He looked like he was about 5'6", maybe 5'7" at the most. Little short white dude walks in the door, and everybody's looking like, what the hell? They was like, that's Martin. They know who he is because he's been around. He's been out with Marie. This is not somebody nobody has met. They've all met him before. They even showed pictures of them, right? So they were like, Martin is here. And so then Cedric, everybody's looking, and Leticia's trying to talk to Cedric, and it's like, so what? So anyway, what's going on? Trying to talk to him and trying to distract him. So then Martin, turns out that he's separated. Everybody's in total shock. He has children, but he is not divorced. So they're making a big deal out of that, saying that she shouldn't, why are you with a man who hasn't gotten a divorce yet? Girl, what the fuck does that mean? Your nigga was married and cheated on you. What is if he's not in a relationship with the person, it shouldn't matter. That is just a legal document that needs to be, a decree needs to be solved. They might be going through, we don't know what they're going through, but telling someone that when they're out of a relationship with someone, whether they're like, that's the issue that they have with Papoose and Clarissa Shields, that him and Remy are not legally divorced. And so why are you over there with that lady's husband? But that's not his wife. That is not her husband. Papoose and Remy are not together. These people are not together. Cedric is not with Marie, and what's his name is not with his wife, Martin. I guess that's his name. We don't know if he's not with his wife, but he slipped up and called her his wife and then corrected it and said ex-wife. So I'm like, Carrie, I'm thinking, is this a new divorce? Are you newly divorced? Because if you're slipping up and still referring to your ex-wife as your wife, it might be something that's new, right? So I don't think he was clear on how long he's been separated. But then the girl started questioning Marie, and Marie was like, well, I don't really want to get into his business like that. And she does. And first of all, who are you, Carrie, asking me all these questions? She was like, Harpo, who is this woman? I don't. I just met you, girl, and now you got all these opinions about what's going on with me. Girl, just wait. They're gonna delve into your life. I know the girls. Do y'all be ready when you get on these reality shows? Because I'm gonna tell you, they already probably doing a background check on Carrie's husband. Carrie better watch it. Glenn said, "What in the poly is this?" So he tries to distract Leticia away from. I think she was talking to Cedric. No, she was talking to Martin, and he tried to, break them up and say, "Do you want me to? Aren't we trying to get some cake or something?" He was trying to distract her and take her away from the conversation. Tambra says she's never dated a white man. Carrie says she has dated a white man before. Leticia says she has not dated a white man before. And though Letitia's over there talking to Martin, questioning him, but again, they both know about each other, right? And so they're questioning him. They go to start questioning Marie. I thought it was rude for this woman who doesn't even know him to be questioning him. Like, I don't know you. So why are you questioning him on behalf of? Who are you questioning him on behalf of? Because you don't know me and well enough to be questioning anybody I'm dating to try to figure out if they're a good enough match for me or not. You don't even know me. So you don't even know what I like. Clearly, you don't know what I like. Girl, did you? Oh, I haven't gotten to that part. You don't know what I like. Obviously, I can like a guy that looks like Cedric and go all the way over and date a guy who is a white German. Like, she was dancing with both of them. She would start dancing with one, turn around, start dancing with the other. Then at one point, she was holding both of their hands and they was dancing. But you can't say anything. What can you say? They're not exclusive. She's dating. That's her ex-husband. He's here at the party. I thought it was a little strange that they were like all dancing. Like she was going from like literally dancing with one and would turn around and dance with the other. And the men are just standing there just while she was dancing with the other one. The other one was just standing there. I was like, girl, Marie is a mess. And she was like dancing with both of them at one point. I was like, girl, this is a damn mess. Um, the next scene, they go to a hair salon. So it turned out right. There was no problems. She said that Martin knows about Cedric and Cedric knows about Martin, but she just told Cedric about Martin, saying that, they've been dating for a few months. So they're going to a hair salon. Latrice is going to Amanda's hair salon. She's going to lay her wig down for her. Her lace is lifting. And she's going to do her hair. So she starts doing her hair. Tambra shows up to the scene and they get to gossiping. So Tambra's like, girl, you missed it because Latrice couldn't go to Marie's party because she had another event and she's still doing taste. And so she needs to be available for that. So she couldn't go to Marie's party. So Tambra is telling her what happened with Cedric and Martin. She was like, girl, she had both those men in there dancing with both of them. They both showed up and this and that. And then Tambra asked Amanda, how do you feel about this reconnection with Latrice and Marie? And she said she didn't know how she can go back to that. I guess because Marie was very rude, especially the first season. She was terrible. And how she came in like, I don't like the way Marie moved with Tambra and that man. Remember, baby, I wore Marie's ass out. Y'all don't go lead up with no motherfucking man I've ever been with who's actually trying to be in court with me and you sit across from that motherfucker and ask him questions. I honestly could not come back. Me and Marie would never speak again. We would never, you won't know nothing about me, bitch, ever. You won't be able to sit across from nobody on me. Never again. I wouldn't, me, myself, would you be able to recover from that? I don't think I know I would not. Not, I don't think, I know I would not. Bro, you can never speak to me again. So Amanda says that Glendale, black and ugly. That's what she said. She like them black and ugly. So that's her type. Glendale was in her DMs and she showed them. She showed the DMs to the girls. They was looking like, girl, wait a minute. You scrolling too fast. She was like, I entertained him a little bit because you know he's black and he's ugly. He's my type. And then Latrice is in her confessional, like saying, Glenn, not this shit again. Latrice says she's stuck in the middle. And then you hear Amanda say, you see me and you see who he's married to. I said, oh, that's how it ended, girl. But next week, Latrice goes and sits up under Glen at that one of them condos. She brings her luggage. So I want to see what they're gonna do about Glenn, because they confront him about these DMs. What are you doing in this woman? And then it's so crazy because it's like you're in a woman's DMs who lives in the same area. Why are you talking to women that live in the same, like, is this fake? Why are you talking to women that live in the same area? To me, I would never talk. Jackson is not a big city. So why are you trying to talk to other women who are in Jackson? Like, that's so disrespectful, my nigga. It is so disrespectful. And this woman keeps taking you back, and you just keep, because what do I didn't had a pregnancy scare on you. I keep talking to other women on you. I didn't quit my job. I bought a truck. He just does not have respect for her. He does not. I don't think they've been knowing each other for, I think, since high school. Remember we were talking about a couple people who've been together since high school and how it looks. Oh, I haven't talked about that yet. That's going to come later. But yeah. And then this mess with Cedric and Martin, uh, Marie's men. So we're gonna see how that's gonna work out. And then Tambra needs to be a friend, because she, like, even in the first episode we got Leticia, we got Latrice, a backstory, like like a history, like of what has happened since they left. We got Leticia, Marie, we know what's happened since we left. And then, but nothing on Tambra. I don't know why they keep Tambra around. Maybe, I mean, because she's just a part of the friend group for real, but she needs to be a friend of a Belle. She don't need to be a main cast member, because even, and she's a Virgo, so you're not going to get too much. But even in the first episode, they did like a history on everybody else except for Tambra. All she said was motherhood, dealing with motherhood and her job. That's the history that she gave us. Nothing else. That's it. So y'all let me know what y'all think of the episode. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. The bells are back, girl. All right, peace.